What's up, everybody? It's Marco from Digital Dash. In this video, we're going to be talking about the reasons we don't continue to trade when conditions aren't ideal and we have had many losers or losing days in a row. Before we get into this, I want to start off by saying this actually takes a lot for me to come on here and have this level of transparency, right? It sucks that I've had these continuous losses, but there's not many people on YouTube showing, one, showing the losses, two, showing how to learn from those losses, and how to incorporate those losses into a trading plan to prevent those losses. So I really think these videos are very valuable. And if you guys feel the same way, make sure you leave a like and drop a sub and hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any more of these videos. It's important to recap those winning days, but it's even more important to have those trade recaps of not only the losing days, but the things that are being implemented to try to prevent those losses from happening in the future. This is how we have actual success in our trading. So I hope you guys enjoy this stuff. But getting right into it, I didn't come to the market today with the pre-market plan. Coming to the market with the pre-market plan has been sabotaging my trading, right? I've been entering the market with a bias and ignoring the signs. So I decided to come to the market and just trade what the market was telling me. I saw in the tape we had red and yellow orders all over. So that was my first sign that today was going to be choppy. We were opening at supply, but not seeing any follow through. After we tapped into supply, failing to push lower from supply, we were failing to see follow through to the upsides as well. So we weren't choosing the direction. We weren't having much follow through, even at the opening bell's volume. So my rationale at that point was that I should wait for more extreme zones before getting involved, but I didn't do that. Really, I knew I shouldn't have been trading since Monday, right? Monday, we identified that the conditions weren't ideal and I should sit out the market, but we didn't do that. So here's the trade recap. Here's what happened. I entered short as we saw a long bearish pin bar, right? I saw this long bearish pin bar. I was expecting that we were running this zone to entice more bulls in because that's what's been happening all week. So we saw this long bearish pin bar and I entered on that sign. That was signs that sellers were still very strong despite bulls trying to enter the market, right? I wanted to see a bearish move. I wanted to see a bearish move after that pin bar candle. Right, so we can't push back into that daily key level after this bearish pin bar, and I didn't see any follow through, so I decided to just get out of the trade there. Right, what happened after? Price started pulling back. Price started pulling back to entice more bulls into the market, but at that point I was already out of the trade. Once I saw that pullback, I hopped in. Right, I got out of my trade and hopped in. So this was starting. Now I'm breaking rules at this point. Not only did I not wait 10 minutes before entering another trade, I didn't go through my after trade analysis because I didn't take 10 minutes to wait. So I wasn't able to ground and realign myself and ask myself, should I be trading or should I have continued to take the first trade in the first place? And this trade didn't meet my 2-to-1 requirement. So this trade shouldn't have been taken at all, right? I flipped my trade. I tried to go long. This is why I started learning from the loss. So after a week of all losing days, I was able to keep the losses small, but I could have prevented these losses every single day. I spotted that conditions weren't ideal for me to trade, and I knew I should have sat this week out, but I was stubborn and I wanted to continue trading. So I tried to make modifications, but taking loss after loss is still mentally taxing and would destroy confidence and conviction. I've been justifying still trying to trade because I was sized down, but I haven't sized down mentally. Even though I know I can come back from these losses, some could have been avoided in the first place, and constant losing is depressing. When knowing I need to sit out, I have to remember that the potential reward is not even worth the risk. Right? I have to ask myself, should I damage my confidence and my mental health just so I can continue to trade these conditions after I identify that I shouldn't be trading them? No, I don't think that's worth it. So Monday, I identified that conditions weren't ideal and I should not trade. I should sit on my hands, come back again next week when conditions are favorable. Instead, I tried to make tweaks to my trading so I could still be able to trade. The tweaks were sizing down, changing entry signals, etc. After making implementations, I was still taking losses, and at this point, going against my plan. My plan states that after 2 or more losses or losing days, I have to step away for the day or for the week. Today, I learned why this rule was in place. Even if I'm still following my risk rules and sizing down so the losses don't hurt as much, I'm still exhausting all of my confidence and mental capital. Watching intensely for my new entry signals, never knowing if price will follow through, wondering if the price will come back and wick me out before going, etc. Even if I did come out with the winning trade, the the gains wouldn't be worth enough to justify the mental gymnastics. The risk to reward isn't there. If I'm right, I have a small winner because I had to size down anyway. If I lose, I'm mentally destroyed and my confidence is hit. This could lead to hesitation when conditions become ideal again, or fear like today where I had a winning setup, but I didn't have the conviction to hold the trade and let it develop after so many losses. Perhaps you've heard the phrase, don't step over $1 to pick up a penny. It refers to the idea of doing all you can to save money, yet costing yourself more in the end. So I included this because I tried to size down, right? I tried to prevent losses even more. I tried to make sure that I still had a safety belt in place by sizing down and trying to continue to trade so that I could preserve capital. But in the end, I finished the week down even more when I could have prevented every single one of these losses since Monday if I just walked away from the market on the first signs that things weren't ideal, right? So I was stepping over $1 to pick up a penny. And then here's what happened it's not even 11 a.m. yet. It's 10:48. So here's what happened after the trade. Short trade ended up working, but at this point I was so afraid and mentally damaged that I didn't want to allow the trade to develop and work. I knew that rallies for this entire week were being sold. We were potentially finally out of this range, etc. There was many things that made me put this trade on, right? Even seeing that the zone get wicked, right? That was part of my new entry criteria that I've been looking for. This was the trade I was willing to put my capital up for to see if it worked. Even this trade, this didn't meet the 2-to-1 criteria. This met the 2-to-1 criteria. So this was the trade that I was willing to put capital on to see if it worked, seeing the potential, but I still didn't fully accept the risk due to the fear of another loss. Since I've been having so many losers in a row, that fear crept in and I didn't fully accept the risk. I ignored all of those positive signs that I saw to get me in the trade in the first place because the fear was there. I was now trading on tilt. This is why, after 2 losing days, after 2 losses, I'm supposed to walk away for the day or walk away for the week because confidence is hit now too. So managing can become altered as well. And I have to understand that and I have to identify that. I cut the winner early, but held the loser to full stop. Like, ain't that crazy, right? Here's my loser right here. I held the loser to the full stop, right? I held the one that, I should have cut, that I'm saying, even if this does go in my favor, it's not 2-to-1, woo-woo. All of the reasons I should have hopped out of the trade, I'll hold that one to full loss. But I was sitting here in the winning trade, had the stop loss where I, got the entry trigger I wanted to see. I'm at the zones that I want to trade at. All these things, and I still didn't accept the risk on the winner. I accept the risk on the 1-to-1 trade that's going against all my rules. But this trade that's at least aligned with some of the things that I want to see, I was too afraid of and I hopped out. So that's crazy. But this is, that's what happened. Emotion becomes involved, fear comes involved. When you're not following the rules and when these things happen, that's the reason why I put this rule in place in the first place. So I was trying to counteract it and go against this rule because I really, really wanted to trade. But now I understand why this rule was in place. So here's where we get into the part into how do we make adjustments to our plan so that after we've learned from the loss, this is us looking back and reviewing the loss and learning our mistakes. How do we prevent these mistakes from happening again? So if you guys haven't watched my video about my trading plan, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to that video so you guys can go check that out. But here are the modifications that we're making to our trading plan. So before it just said after two losses or losing days, walk away, come back in a better, go live life and come back in a better position to trade. Now I've added the reason why this rule is in place so I can remember that as well. So the lesson that we just learned from reviewing the trade, I've added it to my trading plan. After 2 losses or losing days, combined with conditions that aren't favorable, just do not trade. Just don't trade at all, right? A small win in conditions that aren't favorable isn't worth the damage to my confidence and mental capital the losers will cause. Small wins won't help in the long run. So even if I am able to make money during these conditions, it won't help. But being disciplined to sit out will. Protecting the money is one thing. Protecting the mental is another. Live outside of trading during these times, right? Just walk away from the market and live outside of trading during these times. So Again, I have another video about measuring success, determining success, redefining success, not based on P&L. I'm going to link that as well. You guys can check that out after this video. How were we successful this week? We had many losses this week. We were successful in the sense that we limited our losses per day, but we weren't successful in the fact that, you know, we didn't follow this rule of after 2 losses or losing days to just walk away from the market. And because we broke that rule, we ended up how we ended up, right? We ended up with a losing week, with a red week, right? So that's the thing when it comes to these trading plans. Just because you have a plan in place doesn't mean you're going to stick to it and follow it every single day. But this week, we've built a lot of discipline muscle, right? We've been very consistent trying to follow these rules as best as we can. You know, and it probably would have been way more disastrous if we didn't have these guidelines, if we didn't have this plan, if we didn't have these rules in place at all, right? So redefining success. We were successful trying to stick to this plan. You know, we tried to stick to this plan as best as we could. We really, I can honestly say that I gave it my all this week trying to stick to this plan. I can honestly say that I gave it my all, right? And we're not going to be perfect at first. But, you know, as you learn this plan, things like this will happen where you can tweak and you can add and you can make adjustments to the plan to prevent those things from happening again. So next time around when conditions aren't favorable, hopefully I'll have the strength and hopefully I'll have this here to recognize, okay, it's time to sit out altogether, right? And even though I still had a red week and even though I still broke this rule all week, I was very disciplined in all the other areas during this week. So the fact that I was able to compound and grow the discipline muscle this time around, even with the rules being broken, next time around, I'll have even more discipline muscle. So it won't be nothing for me to sit out, right? Hopefully we can prevent this all together. So that's how we're looking to implement changes. To add more insult to injury, we can sit here and watch this continue to sell off as I close out this video so I can go cry after the video. And that's how we look to implement changes. Those are the reasons why rules are in place in the first place. That's how we recognize why we put rules in place in the first place, and so that we can stick to them the next time around. So if you guys found this video helpful, make sure you leave a like, go drop a comment telling me what rules you guys are trying to stick to, and hit the bell icon so you guys don't miss another video. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.